so sorry. Sorry, everyone. I'm not so proficient on Zoom yet. Okay. Did everybody get what they need in that situation in order for you to be happy? Has everybody got that? I need a yes or no, maybe. I don't know.
Yes, madam, I got it.
Okay. Everybody else got it? Just a quick yes or no in the chat or out loud. Okay. Okay, so now this is where you complain about the person. What do you think of him or her in that situation, and make a list. And again, these up here, we're feeling they did an injustice. This is why we're angry or upset with them. So they've done an injustice and we're not happy, and we're definitely not happy. We're upset. So what do you think of this person? So in my case, Natasha is, I think she's wrong. I think she's hurtful. I think she's inconsiderate. And the list could go on. So in your situation, when that person made you feel whatever it is here that you wrote, because whatever you wrote there, what do you think of this person when they did that? And just keep it to one words if you can. Wrong, hurtful, whatever you, if you think they're a jerk or an idiot or stupid or stronger words, write it down. Nobody's going to see this, just you. But you're definitely not feeling friendly towards them here. And just put in the chat, if you would, when you finished. Just put done, so I know everybody's finished with that line. Everybody else finished? Okay. All right. So number 6, what is it about this person and situation that you don't ever want to experience again? And I want to point out here, number 6 always ties back to number 1. So I don't ever want to experience feeling neglected again. So you're going to write, I don't ever want to experience feeling neglected again. Smita, we're just going through filling out a full worksheet rather than just taking one topic this week. All of these forms, including an instruction packet, if you're in the Work with Sharon, I've given access to Google Docs where Google Drive, where I've got all of these forms in there. So you're just literally finding.
ఏదో క్లాస్ వింటున్నా ఏమా?
Pardon?
I'm about to go out to get food with.
ఓకే, నానున్నాడా? రాలే?
I have no idea. I just came out of my room.
Someone needs to mute, please. Okay.
Thank you, Sharon. I attended first time. Usually have meditations on Tuesdays, so I was unable to attend yours, but I said today I'm available, so let me go and just explore what's the kind of work that you're doing with us, so I can be more consistent. Thank you.
Okay, lovely. So did you hear what I explained about the form?
I just started when you said that about how would you feel, because it took me a while to join on Zoom. It's asking me to sign and the password, and then I was trying to struggle for 5 minutes and really got quite late. So I think you were in the third or fourth question when you were going through.
Okay, so there is no password for this Zoom. You should be able, I don't know why it's giving people trouble. Ideally, you should just be able to click on it and get in here. So I don't know why it's asking people for password. I promise you, there's no password associated with this.
There wasn't any password for your Zoom link, but I was trying to use my school links. It was asking me to sign into my school account. That's
yeah. Understood. Okay. Yeah. Understood. Okay, so just very quickly a recap of this. You're going to find a situation where that's going to fit this. I'm blank with whomever, because, and whatever your because is here. So in my situation, and I explained, my daughter said she was going to call me and didn't. Now, preceding that, there were text messages going on between us, and I got the day wrong, and then we corrected that, and then the day came, and I waited, and she never did call. So finally, I went to bed. All that stuff I just said happened, but that's not the situation. The situation is my daughter said she was going to call me and didn't. It's important to keep this situation short when you're facilitating using the 4 questions and then the turnarounds, which are just other perspectives. It's too difficult to keep your attention on it if this situation is too long. If I included about all the text messages and stuff and you facilitated me, you would have trouble saying, well, when you and your daughter were texting, and then on Tuesday she said this, and then Thursday she said that, and then Saturday came and you were waiting, and she never called. That would be just way too much. So in this case, I'm angry with Natasha because she neglected me. I felt neglected. And so it's somewhat self-explanatory. And under each one of the scenarios, Katie has given an example here. And see here, she's got, I want Paul to see that he's wrong. Her situation was Paul lied about smoking. He was still smoking. I want him to stop lying to me. And then under the advice, Paul shouldn't frighten me with his behavior. He should take a deep breath. So I've just filled in my blanks here, and all of you are filling in what you believe. So in this situation, how did I want her to change? What do I want her to do? So I've written that in. In this situation, what advice would I offer? He or she should or shouldn't. So she should and she shouldn't. I've written that here. So you're just going in this order. You're looking, this is the needs in order for you to be happy in that situation. What do you need from that person? And then here, what do you think of them in that moment, in that situation? What are you thinking about them? It's clearly not going to be friendly because you're feeling hurt, you're feeling angry, so you're going to fill that in. This last one, number 6, what is it that you don't ever want to experience again? This line here ties into your first line. So whatever you experienced here, I don't ever want to experience feeling neglected again. Actually, to take this one a step further, and it's here, instead of I don't ever want to, you're also going to include I'm willing to. So I'm willing to experience feeling neglected again. I look forward to feeling neglected again. And whatever you wrote about, it's like, well, why? How could I ever want that? And the reason is we want to see where we're still arguing with the truth. And when we get to those turnarounds / different perspectives, that's where we'll see it. Right now, for those of you that completed the full worksheet, and hopefully you're all on mute at this point, please read this worksheet out loud, and anywhere you have this other person, put I. So I'm angry with myself because I neglected me. I want me to apologize. I want me to see how hurt I felt. I want me to keep my word. So go through your worksheet out loud, and everywhere you have a reference to the other person, put yourself and see if you can find it in that moment, how that applies, that you need, want, could, should be doing that for yourself. And let me know when you're finished. I have to pull the sheet out. Has everybody read their worksheet back to themselves and seen where it applies to you? Did anybody get lost in that? Or was it clear? Lovely ladies, if nobody answers me, I don't know whether you're getting this or not. With number 6.
Yes, madam. I am done.
Okay. So what is it about this person and situation that I don't ever want to experience again? Well, my experience was I felt neglected. I felt that she neglected me. So I don't ever want to experience feeling like I was neglected. I never want to experience that again. However, in addition to that, I'm also going to say, I'm willing to experience feeling neglected again. I look forward to feeling neglected again. And those two, I am willing to, and I look forward to. If I say I look forward to feeling neglected again, it's not because I'm crazy. It's because I've got a story going on about that. I had that whole story about Natasha going on that she should be doing this, I need her to do that, and the complaints about her. So I'm arguing with reality. If you've been on with us before and we get to the different perspectives, well, first we question everything. Is it true? I'm going to, is it true that she neglected me? So I got to think about that for a minute. And it felt like a yes to question number 1. And not these questions, the 4 questions that we asked. Can I 100% know that she neglected me? I have to think about that. And the truth is, I honestly can't know for sure that she neglected me. And then we get into how do we react? What happens when I'm believing that she neglected me? Well, I got really angry. I wallowed in self-pity. In my mind, I was being mean to her. I was calling her some names, not nice names. And, oh, okay. I'm sorry. I don't know why my voice is breaking. Good old Zoom, hey? And so it's just a story that's going on here, just a story. Thank you, Sri Devi. It could be either side. I'll just keep repeating here. So did everyone read the sheet back, replacing the person that you were writing about with yourself? Tell me yes or no. Come on. Tell me if you did that.
Yes, madam. I did that.
Okay. Who else did that? Sri Devi, did you get that done? You read your sheet back to you?
Yes, madam.
Okay. All right. And everybody else? The point of that piece of the exercise is to show where it's you that needs to do all of these things. It's, I want me to apologize. Yeah, in my head, I called my daughter a couple of names actually. So I want me to apologize for criticizing her, for condemning her. And I want me to apologize to myself as well. I want me to see how hurt I felt. Yeah, I just let the anger take over, but I didn't really nurture myself. I really didn't stay in that moment and notice just how hurt I felt. Instead, I wallowed in self-pity. I didn't take time to recognize it for what it was. I want me to keep my word. Yeah, there have actually been times when I have broken my word to someone. I'm being the pot calling the kettle black here. I want me to keep my word. I should be more attentive. Yes, I should sit with my thoughts and pay attention to what what's going on in my mind. I have no idea why she didn't call in that moment, but I've got all this story going on. I should do as I say. Yeah, there's times when I've said I'm going to do something and I didn't do it. I made excuses and I justified it. So I should do as I say I'm going to do. I shouldn't let me down. And in that instance, feeding into all those stories going on and all that condemning that I was doing, I'm letting myself down there. Because that's not the kind of human being I want to be. Are you following this? Can you see where reading your own sheet and you find this where we're condemning others? Have we not done the same thing at one point of time or another? Of course we have. We wouldn't be able to see this in the other if we hadn't done this thing ourselves. Is that clear? Is that clear about number 6? So we have experienced whatever you wrote after because up here. And now we're saying, I don't ever want to experience it again. And then following that up, you're willing to, and you look forward to experiencing it again, because you're going to see where you're still arguing with reality, which means you have still an underlying belief about yourself going on, whether it's I felt neglected, I felt roughed up, I felt unimportant, whatever it is, that's a belief that needs to be questioned. So I'm going to stop sharing now and come back on screen here. So let's work with, let's take a look here. Let's work with a need tonight. So look at the sheet that you wrote, look at the answers that you wrote, and pick one of the needs that you wrote. So just pick one need that you wrote. Everybody got that? You found one of the needs that you wrote? Okay, so now we're going to facilitate on that. So is it true that that person should or shouldn't be whatever need you wrote? So in this case, I could choose be more attentive. So is it true I need Natasha to be more attentive in that situation, in that one moment in time? Is it true? Yes or no? Do you really need them? Do you really, or should or shouldn't they? Is it true they should or shouldn't?
They should, I guess.
Okay. It's whatever you wrote.
Okay. I've not got the worksheet, but I'm just preparing my answers now in my head as you go along, because first time I came and I didn't thought that it's been shared earlier before we come to the class. So
I know, that's why I asked people to do their, and I know you had technical difficulties, and I waited another minute or two, and it's okay. You can still follow along with what we're doing right now, because the process is always the same. The work is always the same. So you can just right now, for the purposes of this, come up with a memory in time where you felt somebody did something to you that upset you, and give them a piece of advice, which would be they should or shouldn't, whatever it is you want to write after that. So now we're going to move on to question 2, which is also a yes or no answer. Can you absolutely know 100% that that person should or shouldn't, whatever you wrote, whatever sentence you're working on? Are you 100% certain that they should or shouldn't be that way or do that thing? I have a,
Yes.
yeah, let's do this as what I call a popcorn. So just in response to the questions, take yourself off mute and just pop out your answer. Yes, no, whatever it is. Thank you, Sir Debbie. That way I know everybody's with me, everybody's participating and getting it. Because if you're not, then let's pause until everybody is at the same level. So now, question number 3, in that situation, when you believe that that person should or shouldn't, whatever it is you've got working on, how do you react and what happens? So in my case, it would be, I'm working on Natasha should be more attentive. How do I react when I believe that she should be more attentive and I'm believing she isn't being more attentive? How do I react? How do you react when you're believing that thought about the person you wrote about? Just shout it out, folks.
Powerless.
Powerless? Someone else? Be there in that moment in time. It might help to close your eyes and just be in that situation again. How do I react when I believe that thought? She should
I
be.
may come to a conclusion that they don't care for me at all.
Okay. So you have a bit of a story going that they don't care about you. Okay. How else do you react? What else happens when you believe that thought? What physical sensations in your body do you feel, and where do you feel it?
I get headache and stressful, madam.
I notice my shoulders are hunched up. They feel so tight. And my forehead, I feel like that's scrunching up too. And I can feel sort of a knot in my stomach.
I was also like getting some kind of insecurity at my facial expression is changing.
Yeah. How about the others on the call? How do you react? What else happens when you believe that thought?
I think I've sometimes become judgmental here, saying that this has not happened once, but repeatedly it's happened. It's just them. They do this always.
Okay. So
Yeah.
just when we get into because, we go into story. So
Okay.
just in that moment, you're judgmental.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I could add that one too. I'm definitely judgmental in that moment. Whew. How else do we react? What else happens when we believe that original thought? And when we believe that they should or shouldn't, whatever you're working on, whatever you wrote after that, how else do you react? What are
I was feeling very nervous in my hands
Okay.
and legs. Feel like sitting somewhere.
Good to notice. Good to notice. What aren't you able to do in that moment when you're wrapped up in this thought that they should or shouldn't, and whatever you wrote after that? What can't you do when you're believing that thought, just in that situation? I can't feel kind towards her. I can't.
Don't feel like responding back.
How about the others? What can't you do when you're believing that they should or shouldn't do whatever it is you said? I can't calm down in that moment when I'm believing that thought. I've got myself so worked up. I cannot calm down. I can't actually see that it's just a story that I've created, because that story feels so real and it isn't even true. Do any obsessions or addictions start happening when you believe that thought? They should or shouldn't?
Yes, madam. I started eating a lot of food and junk food, coffee, and like without even paying attention, whatever grabs, keep eating.
Um,
Go ahead.
I usually don't indulge in any eating or get stressed, but it can go for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, depending on my own willpower to stop and change. And again, when I'm changing, the reason I'm giving to let go of that thought and let go of that person is that I say it's maybe their habits or their sanskar I can't do. We can't change other people. So why should I really, torture myself? Let it go. And especially when they are your dear family ones, we say that, okay, let's forgive them.
If I may interrupt for a moment, Smita, we're only talking about that one situation,
Okay.
that one moment in time. I mean, afterwards, we can get very clear on things, but in that moment, when we're upset by this, feeling upset by this person, and we have this thought that whatever they did in question number one, we're not thinking rationally. We're not as clear as we are maybe later after the situation. That moment, we're either angry or upset, whatever the emotion is, but we're definitely not clear headed in that moment. We've got those 60 to 80,000 thoughts running, and a whole bunch of those are running through our head in just seconds when we're feeling angry or upset with this person. And later, yeah, I mean, I did it. Later, I thought to myself, maybe she was tired and she forgot and she went to bed, and I became more understanding, but not right in that moment. So we just always want to keep ourselves. That's why I say keep that situation short, so we can keep coming back to just that one situation. So when I ask the question, do any obsessions or addictions start happening when we believe that thought that they should or shouldn't, whatever it is? So I notice for me, I obsess about the past. I bring up every other, okay, Sridevi, see you later. You had told me that. Thank you. I brought up all the old memories of other times where I felt let down by her or I felt neglected by her. And I just ruminated on that. And they're already gone. They're already in the past. And yet I brought that past into that moment, and it aggravated that moment more. So obsessive thinking. And I'm sorry.
I agree with you, Valentin. Even I go that route, that remember the past memories when you were treated similarly, in similar manner. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Obsession or addiction doesn't necessarily mean drugs, right? It can mean our thinking. It can mean we do food for comfort, any number of things. Just noticing what we do, what behavior we demonstrate when we're believing a thought like that. Again, all this is happening very quickly, right, in our minds. So when we're believing that thought, that that person should or shouldn't, whatever you wrote after that, how do we treat that person, even if it's just in our mind, when we're believing that thought? Are we treating them as a friend or an enemy in that moment, just in that situation, friend or enemy? Are we treating them as superior to us or inferior to us? How are we treating them when we believe that thought? I noticed when I sit and I think about that, I was treating my daughter, one, as a bad person, and in my mind, I was putting her down. I was being disrespectful towards her. And I was treating her as inferior to me in that moment, acting like I knew better than her how manners should be and how you should show up in the world. So I was treating myself superior to her. How about you? How are you treating the other person when you believe that thought? and be in that moment and be in your head and see how you're thinking about them, what you're thinking about them. Avoid talking. Sometimes we put up this invisible wall. As soon as we feel that hurt, that wall went up. That's it. I've distanced myself from you. And you're totally unaware of it because it's only going on inside of me. And how are you treating yourself when you believe that thought? Are you treating yourself like a victim or like a hero? Inferior to the person?
Like a victim.
Yeah. We're not even aware that we're doing that. Ikra, how do you pronounce your name? Inchara or Inkara? I probably don't have it right.
It's inchara. Inchara.
Inkara, okay. So are you expressing that frustration to yourself? Like in your head?
Yes.
Okay, story you've got going on. And like a victim, right? We fall into that pity party for one. And as they would say, would we like some cheese with that wine? Right? We're just all whiny in that moment. So does this belief bring peace or stress into our lives? Does it bring peace or stress to you to hold on to that?
It's not peace, definitely.
It's stress, definitely, I would say, at least depending on your maturity. How long are you holding on, and how long are you allowing it to affect your routine or your work?
Certainly, but just in that particular moment, just that one situation, is it bringing us peace or stress? For most of us, it brings stress, right? We're holding on to this thought. They should or shouldn't do whatever it is. That's not a peaceful thought for me. It's very stressful and it feels very controlling. Oh, that's another. How do I react? In my mind, I'm controlling. I'm saying, you should do it this way. Wow. Whose business am I in, hey? Not mine, right? In that moment, I'm definitely in her business. And we know there's three kinds of business: yours, mine, and the divine's. And the only time we suffer is when we're in somebody else's business. We've got to keep remembering that. And then that helps bring us back into our own business. Okay, so now in that same situation, go back in your mind into that situation. So for me, it was, she said she was going to call and she didn't. So back in that situation, and I'm waiting for the call. Who or what am I without this thought that she should be more attentive? Who are you without that thought that that person should or shouldn't be whatever you said? Just be there in that situation. And who are you without that thought? What are you without that thought? Are you relaxed? Has the tension dissipated? It's not even
Yeah,
there.
peaceful without the thought.
Without the thought, say it again.
This peace. Yeah,
Yeah, peaceful.
yeah, without thought, there's a peace.
Yeah.
Peaceful, yeah.
Just observing what's going on, no attachment to it. Right? We don't have a story going on. That thought was the story. So without that story, there's only peacefulness there. There could even be joy. I'm looking at, I don't see my daughter's face, but in my imagination, I just see her beautiful face and her beautiful smile. And I feel happy in that moment. And there's no story. Feels wonderful, doesn't it? Okay, so let's look at that statement. That person should or shouldn't, whatever you chose, should or shouldn't, and whatever comes after that. So let's look at it from the opposite. So I wrote, Natasha should be more attentive. So the opposite of that for me is Natasha shouldn't be more attentive. And then I'm going to look for one example of how that could be true. Why shouldn't she be more attentive? Well, one example that comes to mind right away is it's her business what she does. It's none of my business. She shouldn't be more attentive. It's her business what she does. Can you find that?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Both of you, yes? Okay. So now let's look at it to the other. So it would be us who should or shouldn't to the other person. So Natasha should be more attentive to the other becomes I should be more attentive to her. This would be to her. Now,
I
what's
should. Oh, okay.
No, go ahead, please. Go ahead, say what you're going to say.
Mm, Like opposite of that, yeah, I should be more kind. But um, when there is that thought, then there is no point of this. The story will not go
Well, if your opposite is I should be
further.
if your opposite is I should be more kind, then you're just going to look for one
Yeah.
example of why you should be more kind. Or you can say I should be more kind when, or I should be more kind because, and see what comes up for you there. In that, and it's only in that situation. We're not generalizing, we're staying with just that one situation you wrote about at the top of your paper.
May I interrupt you, Valentine, just to trying to understand the task?
Yes, absolutely.
You said that we are actually saying the opposite. And is it just to reflect upon self?
Yes, yes. So the first turnaround was the opposite. So if you said they should, then the opposite is going to be they shouldn't.
Okay.
And then you're going to find, or vice versa. If you said they shouldn't, then it's going to be they should. And then you're going to find at least one example for how that could be true. So in my case, I said the original was Natasha should be more attentive. So my opposite became she shouldn't be more attentive. And my one truth about that is it's her business what she does.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Thanks.
So then to the other, I should be more attentive. In that moment, I was sitting on the couch and I was waiting for her to call. And I had all this story about her going on. You know, she neglected me, poor me, all those things that we talked about. How do we react and what happens when we believe that? All of that's going on in my mind. She has no idea all that story is going on in my head. I'm the one doing it to me. So I should be more attentive. Yeah, look at what I was doing to myself and look what I was doing to her in my mind. So I should be more attentive to what I'm doing, what's going on inside of me. I caused all my stress that night. I gave away my peace to the story that was going on in my mind. So find yours. If I should or shouldn't, whatever you wrote, that person should be, whatever sentence you're working on, and see if you can find one reason why you should or shouldn't be. And if you need help, just ask. Can you find it, both of you?
No, me, I'm not able to find why I had to be so kind because he's not aware of what is it going inside my head or in my mind. I'm not.
So what was your sentence, if you don't mind sharing? You have that person should or shouldn't.
Most of half of the conversation is like I'm not able to hear because of some yeah, I told you like since beginning I'm not able to hear you completely.
You're
Somewhere it is
you're cutting
um
out too.
I don't know, like noise. Oh,
Okay.
Zed. Okay, let me join from. Yeah, I will disconnect and I'll join
No,
immediately.
no, don't jump off. Would you just
Let me try
type it in the chat?
that. Okay.
Type what you wrote for your should or shouldn't that you're working on. What sentence you're working on, please.
Yeah.
Smita, I see your message. We should be done by then.
Not
We will be done.
finding example to be kind of him.
Okay, so was it I should be, I'm sorry, let's go back to the should or shouldn't. The original sentence was what? Was it he should or shouldn't be kind?
He should be kind.
He should be kind. Okay, so you found the opposite, right? He should be
Uh,
kind. Okay,
yeah,
so,
I should be kind.
okay. So you have two things here. I should be kind to him. So I should be kind to him. Find one example why you should be kind to him. And
Why
then
I should be kind to him? That is, I'm not able to find out.
you can't find an example of why you should be kind to him.
I'm not able to find.
Okay.
Right at the moment, I'm not able to remember like such scenarios. So I have to be kind. Maybe it's all going on, going. So he's not aware of what's going inside my mind.
Of course.
So, mm, so I have to be kind on that he's not aware of it, and I'm only simply creating such thoughts,
Okay, so look what I
giving myself a stress.
look what I just typed in there for you.
I should be kind on him when
I find it in my heart to be kind to him. That's an example, or could be. You don't have to take it just because I put it, but that's what came to my mind.
mm,
You know, when I'm ready to feel kind to him. And then let's turn it to the self. This is the last one. I should be kind to myself. So in that situation that you wrote about, so for me, my daughter said she was going to call and didn't. That's my situation. So I should be kind to myself. I'm sorry, that's your statement. I wrote, Natasha should be more attentive. I should be more attentive to myself. I should
myself.
notice
Okay.
I should notice all of those thoughts that were running through my head and how I was distressing myself. I wasn't being kind to myself at all. I was the one getting myself worked up, right? And whatever
Yeah.
in your case, your original statement was he should be kind. You've got a whole story. You have a particular situation around a time where you feel he wasn't being kind, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And so your other perspective was, I should be kind. I should be kind to him. When I
Yes,
stop,
I should be kind to myself.
and to yourself, and to yourself. But
Yeah.
going back to just that, I should be kind to him. I have all this story running in my head at the moment, and I'm being completely miserable about him in my story. He's awful. He's this, that, and the other, right? He's just, I'm doing it. He's absolutely, as you said, he has no idea what's going on in your head. You're doing it to you. So I should be kind to him because, in a way, he's innocent. He has no idea that story's going on in that moment. My daughter has no idea. She's down in Florida. I'm here in Georgia. She has no idea I've got all this stuff going on in my head because she didn't call me. And I should be kind to myself. Yeah, we've just pulled ourselves apart with all of those thoughts that we've allowed to run. Look at the physical reaction we had, the body tightening up, maybe even tears coming, throat constricting. For me, my shoulders and my head were just all scrunched up. I felt like my shoulders lift. And when I let go of that thought, my body immediately reacted. Immediately relaxed. So I should be kind to myself because I'm the one who's actually hurting myself. I'm the one who's got that whole story going. You're the one who has that whole story going. And the other people are really innocent. They have no idea all of this is going on in our mind. They're not mind readers. Now we have an opportunity to actually have a conversation with them, right? And say, hey, when this happens, I feel this way. It's important not to blame that person, not to say, you made me feel this way or you did this to me. No, they didn't. We are doing it to ourselves. They don't have that power to make us feel a certain way. It is an underlying belief we have about ourselves that causes us to feel that way. In my case, I felt neglected. In your case, you felt he was unkind to you. But is it true? No.
Yeah.
We just work through this. I'm the one who made it feel like he's being unkind. She's not being attentive to me. Whose business are we in? Whose business is it how he should behave or act?
Yeah.
Really, whose business is it?
It's his business.
It is his business. This is the hard thing for us to grasp. It's his business. I am in his business. I am in her business, which is none of my business, really. His business is none of your business. But we get into somebody else's head and we have no idea what that person's thinking, believing, whether good day, bad day. We have no idea. But we project our thoughts onto them and we make them the villain. And really, they're not. They're just innocent. They have no idea that story is going on in my head. And I am in their business. Now, if I stay in my own business, you stay in your own business, isn't there peace there? I'm not thinking about somebody else, what they should or shouldn't be doing. That is their business. Who am I to dictate how someone else should behave or show up in the world or look? That's their journey. They have to figure out their stuff. If I don't like it, though, I can express that. I can say to my husband, when you behave that way.
So whatever we don't like, we have to have a conversation rather than thinking and hurting our own self.
If you feel hurt by the other person, like I did say to my daughter, I waited and waited because she did call me the next day and she said, Mom, she said, when I went to bed last night, I remembered that I forgot to call you today. I'm so sorry. I had a busy day and I was so tired. That was it. That was her business. Simple explanation. I did, however, say to her, I waited and I waited and I waited. And again, that was needless of me to say that because I was that was more hurtful doing that. I could have said, that's okay, I understand. Because I do. Haven't we been exhausted sometime and just forgot to do something and just as we're falling asleep said, oh, I forgot to do that? I'm pointing the finger for something, as I point, it's really pointing back to myself. Whatever I'm accusing the other person of doing, have I not done that at some point myself? Have you ever been unkind to anyone?
Unkind, yeah, many of the times, yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
doing exactly to them what we have done ourselves. And yet we
Yeah.
want to make them guilty. And we go, I've done it myself. Somebody now could come and call me the worst thing. You're such a nasty person, Sharon. And before, I would have been very reactive. How dare you? You don't have to be my friend. Blah, 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 blah. Instead, you're a nasty person, Sharon. I can find moments when I've been a nasty person and I can say thank you. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking to myself, how must I be showing up right now to be perceived as a nasty person? And that gives me an opportunity in that moment to change my behavior or change how I'm showing up in the world. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yes, that makes sense. Good.
Whatever we're accusing the other person, first stop and say, where have I been like that? When have I done that? And you'll find you've done the very thing you're accusing that person of. And that's what we do in these turnarounds, in this different perspective. That's all we're doing is we see where we have done it to that person, where we've been unkind. In our thinking, haven't we just condemned that person? Haven't we crushed them and made them superior while making ourselves victim? Didn't we just say that? And how do you react and what happens? We're doing it, not the other person, but we've crushed them in our thoughts. We've put up this wall between us. We've shut them out of our life in that moment, all because of a story we created. It's not even real. It's not even, it feels real. It seems real in the mind, and yet it's not true. And we prove, that's all we're looking for is the truth. We prove it's not true by doing this process over and over and over.
So, like so this is the one scenario. Throughout the day, for one entire week. So many of such things will be happening. So, say suppose five such things, such thoughts are running in my head right at the moment, or for the end of the day. So, do I have to work on each of the scenarios?
Yes. You will have thousands of worksheets, but the more you do these, the more you question those beliefs, the freer you become, because these beliefs didn't start today. They didn't start last week. Generally, they start when we're children, when we're quite young, and generally will happen with our parents. If you take what you worked on tonight, he should be kind, and go back in your memory and find when was your earliest moment of believing that someone should be kind and they weren't in your mind being kind. Go back to that very early moment and then do a worksheet on that. Then do the 4 questions on that. My parents were arguing and I interrupted and they yelled at me. Oh, my child mind said, oh, they should be kind. They should be kinder to me. I'm just a child, whatever your situation is. But that's where it started. And then it gets reinforced. You go to school, the teachers say something and it feels unkind. Your friends say something, it feels unkind. Your coworkers say something, it's endless. But once you break that cycle, once you see that it's not that belief you took on about yourself, once you see it's not true, it dissolves. It just dissolves. Yeah, because the opposite is what's true. The opposite is really the truth.
Yes, correct.
So in
So ultimately, yeah, so for most of the works, it is coming at the end like it is about us, ourselves.
yeah, it's always about
So
ourselves.
it is always about the self. The means the more about assumptions and the expectations.
Yes. Yes.
So we have to work on okay. It all because of our assumptions, expectations more, right?
Yes.
Thinking pattern.
Yeah, think about that
Okay.
word expectation. So if somebody has an expectation of
Mm,
you, they're
mm,
setting you up to fail. That is their expectation. You cannot, no matter how hard you try, you can't live up to somebody
mm.
else's expectations. So the same is
Right.
if you have an expectation, you are setting yourself
Mm,
up to be disappointed because that
mhm,
person cannot live up to your expectations, that they belong to you. And
mhm.
so if you keep expecting someone to be a certain way or show up a certain way, you will
Mm.
constantly be disappointed.
So how to find the peace? So I don't expect. I stop now. So but still, I know how to explain. So mind is like it is always trained to expect.
Yeah,
So when I understand that I'm also not meeting others' expectation.
you can't,
So
nor should you.
yeah. Mm. Whatever they think in their mind, I'm not reaching that. I'm not getting it. Even if most of the expectations cannot be reached. Um, so, how would my expectation? So, what I have to do about it? I already did, means, okay, I understood it. He cannot reach it, or other person cannot understand it. So, um, how to find peace? uh, on it? Like, do I have to neutralize it, or how to work on it? How can should I stop? Like, how I already expected.
I'll
So,
answer that.
how to work on it?
So I have a question and then I'll answer what you just asked.
Mm.
Which one of your parents had the most expectations of you?
My mother.
Okay, so are you repeating a pattern?
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
whose pattern are you repeating?
Mother's pattern,
Right,
mother's, grandmother's.
right. So it's time to let go of that, right? Because
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
borrowing from them. Let's get your own life together here. So are you part
Okay.
of the work with Sharon up what's it called, WhatsApp group?
I'm with this one, Sirisha ma'am's group. I forgot
Okay,
Brahma Muhurtam group.
okay. I'm going to look for you and add you to that group because then when you go up to the
Mm-hmm.
description in the Google Docs, choose the form that says I complain about. And
Mm,
in
okay.
the I complain about, you're going to write
Mm,
everything. I complain about the sun not shining. I complain about the dog barking. I complain about him. And it's because, and then you're going to fill it in. And I complain
mm,
about the cloudy sky because it makes me
mm,
miserable, whatever it is. So there's 2 pages of I complain about. For each one of those
mm,
things you write I complain about, then you're going to do a one belief at a time worksheet, which is just what we did by taking one sentence out of the whole Judge Your Neighbor worksheet. You put it onto that
mm,
one belief at a time. And then you just do the
mm,
4 questions and the turnarounds, the different perspectives on it. And you do that for
mm.
every I complain about that you write. And more will come up
Okay.
because it's very important. It's it's critical that you find one situation and you keep your mind there. Don't let your mind go off. It wants to go off while you're doing this. Keep bringing yourself
Mm,
back just to that one moment in time. Now, maybe that same situation has happened not the same, but a situation has happened 50 times. You're only working on one situation, and that's how you get through this. And the more you do this, the more you will, it'll start working in you over time. You'll automatically change that behavior because you're seeing the truth now. No, because you're seeing the truth. Every time you do a worksheet, you're finding the truth. Whose business am I in? It's not my business how somebody else behaves. Your mother, your grandmother, all those expectations they had of you were impossible. You probably grew up in survival mode, always trying to make them happy, always, and so it becomes the habit in us, and now we put that expectation on the people outside of us. Simply, we haven't dealt with it inside of ourselves yet. Once you deal with it inside of yourself, remember, all the answers are within. We hear this all the time. All the answers are within. And once we deal with what's inside, then it loosens up and it lets go, and you'll stop that kind of behavior. Remember, every time you have an expectation, you're in someone else's business. Always. When you're just in your business, what do I want for me? What can I do to help myself right now? What are some ways I can work out of this? Let them live their life and accept them. When you move into acceptance, I accept him the way he is. And if you can't accept him the way he is, then another choice is to leave or to ask for change. You have three choices there: accept or ask them to change. Something as simple as, when you act this way or behave that way or talk that way, I feel, and explain, I feel neglected. I feel, what's a word for unkind or for kind? I feel, find an alternate word, I think, here for kind. However you feel, when you behave this way, when you say this, whatever, it makes me feel, not you make me feel, it makes me feel unheard, rejected, whatever the appropriate word is for you, whatever your belief is, however it makes you feel when you believe he's being unkind to you. How does that make you? What are you believing about yourself? He doesn't love me. It makes me feel unloved. It makes me feel unwanted. It makes me feel rejected. Whatever the word is, that's the work that you're going to do. But we don't. So you've asked for change there. You've explained this is how you feel, and all being well, he'll hear you and he'll change. So that's one thing. The other is you can accept him. The other is you can walk away. Now,
Walk away.
now, if you're walking away, people are, oh, I can't do that. How will I manage? Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
See, you just started a whole nother story, didn't you? Instead of being afraid, be curious. It takes just as much energy to be afraid as it does to be curious. Wow. If it helps you, write it down. If I walk away, what would my life look like then? And make it positive. Don't feed into that fear. What might my life look like if I walked away from this? Oh, well, I'd have freedom.
Walked away in the sense what is coming out of from such people,
You mean to
or
walk away?
how was yeah
Yeah, I mean,
coming out of the situation.
yeah. Another way of looking at it is, why do I believe I have to stay and put up with this? What is my self-worth worth? Who's taking
With that situation or with the people around.
This question's for you. Who is taking care of you right now? Who is taking care of you?
The family husband.
Are these people outside of us really taking care of us? We are the only ones that know what it looks like to love us, to be kind. What does that kindness look like? What does that actually mean to me? What does kindness look like to me? What does being or feeling loved look like to me. I'm the only one that has the answers to that. So this is where it ties into the expectations. I can't place those expectations for someone to love me, be kind to me, take care of me, support me, because I'm the only one that knows what that looks like. So I need to do that for myself, because it's not your job to do any of those things for me. It's my job to take care of me. It's my job to support myself, to love myself, to take care of me. And when I'm not, then I'm blaming others for how I'm feeling, because I'm not taking care of me.
Mm.
And the taking care of me is sitting in meditation and getting still enough. When we get still enough, then all good things, all the law of attraction will bring all those things that we've desired and wanted to us. When you do these worksheets every single day, as many as you need to do every single day, make it a habit to do it, everything will start to loosen up, and you will come closer and closer to yourself. You will come closer and closer to those peaceful thoughts, which is what everybody wants. They just want peaceful thoughts. But we have to do our part in it, right? No buts. We have our part. And our part is meditation and doing these worksheets. So with your permission, I'll add you to that group so that you can access those documents and print them out and fill it out. Start with the I complain worksheet first.
I do, yeah. I have been doing meditation since one year for at least 1 to 2 hours every day. But still, I find uh, such hard situations to get over easily. But yeah, better than previous years. But still, yeah, ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿಮ್ಮ. Wait, madam. Please wait, madam. So, yeah, I feel like how long I need to understand all of it.
As long as it
And
takes. As long as it takes. There's no time limit on this. Listen, we've spent all of our life instilling all of these beliefs, all of these expectations, all of our life. Now, and so it took that many years to get to who we are today. Now we're doing the unlearning part of it. And the unlearning takes time as well. These beliefs are so embedded in us, and we'll get triggered time and time again. And you just, when you do this work like this, I mean, tonight you found examples for how you should be kind to yourself, you should be kind to him, and where we've been unkind to others, right? Or where you've been unkind to others. So it just frees you up. Now you understand he's really not responsible. You're in his business, trying to dictate how he should show up to the world instead of just staying in your business and questioning what's going on inside of you. Yeah. Yeah. So honestly, when I first started doing this, I did total immersion. I mean, I did this work every single day. I ate, slept, and breathed this work. Just one worksheet, I was like, oh my gosh, is it ever going to end? The answer is no, because there'll always be something that will come up. I have the tool, though, in this process to find out if what I'm believing is true. And once I get down to these last turnarounds here, then I see the truth. I see it's me. I see it's me and my beliefs. So that means if I believed I was unlovable, unlikable, unwanted, and I do this process and I see that's not true, the opposite has to be true. I am lovable. I am liked. I am supported. I am wanted, right? The opposite is what is true.
How the opposite is true? If there is something like I'm not lovable and nobody's caring.
Okay.
So then how the opposite is true?
So you're going to find a situation where someone made you feel, I'm angry. So how we started this worksheet, I'm angry at so-and-so because and I've got a situation in mind. Let's say we were out for dinner on Valentine's Day. And imagine we were having dinner on Valentine's Day, and we were in a restaurant on Valentine's Day having dinner. That's the situation. So in my mind, though, it's like, oh, this is the most romantic day of the year, and it should be loving and kind and all the stuff, right? That's now that's my story. That the situation is we're in a restaurant on Valentine's Day having dinner. So my husband just shovels the food in his mouth, kind of ignores me, no conversation, nothing romantic about the dinner. And I'm feeling unloved. So I'm angry. I'm angry at my husband because he made me feel unloved or unlovable. Okay, let's say unlovable. I'm angry at my husband because he made me feel unlovable. Is it true? Can I absolutely know it's true? He made me feel unlovable. How do I react? And what happens when I'm believing that thought? So I'm sitting at this beautiful restaurant, beautiful table. My husband's minding his own business, eating his food. I had an expectation he's going to fall all over and give me something magnificent to gift, right? My story, not his, but it's my expectation. How do I react? Oh, I'm so pissed off at him in the moment. I'm so angry. I'm calling him all kinds of names in my head. I treat him like he's an enemy. Da 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 da. Now, without that thought, he made me feel unlovable. Who am I? I'm a wife sitting across from her husband in this beautiful restaurant, having this wonderful meal. Now let's get to the turnarounds, the different perspectives. So my original statement, he made me feel unlovable. He didn't make me feel unlovable, but the opposite. He didn't make me feel unlovable. He was eating his dinner. He was having a nice time. That's the example for he didn't make me feel unlovable. I made him feel unlovable. How's that true in that moment? Well, I called him every name in the book in my head. I condemned him. I criticized him. I tortured him in my mind. I made him unlovable. I made myself feel unlovable. That's the final one. I did it to me. I made myself feel unlovable. How? What's my example? When I believed that he didn't love me, or when I blamed him, when I didn't take responsibility for my own feelings, when I had these ridiculous expectations of him, knowing he couldn't fulfill them because they're my expectations. So you just take every emotion that you experience, find a situation that matches that emotion, whatever it is, and you just do those 4 questions and look at it from a different way. And I see, I did it to me. He's an innocent man enjoying his dinner in this beautiful restaurant. He's clueless I'm having this whole conversation in my head. He's clueless that I'm angry at him, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's me every time.
Yes.
So you see, you just have to do these worksheets, follow the process, but the more you do it, the more things unfold. And my suggestion is, when our partners are our greatest teachers every time. They bring and they trigger so much in us. If you're able to, though, go back to your earliest memory of where someone made you feel like that, and look at that situation and see what else was reflected back to you about yourself. What other beliefs did you take on? And start doing the worksheets on those. My personal experience has been, when I go way back and I start as early as I can remember, that sort of loosens all the other threads. It really does, starting at the earliest age. And if you can't do that, then just work on the one that's closest to mind. So thank you for this evening, for the opportunity to share this with you. I will put the recording.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, my pleasure. This is powerful work, and it does take time. Just like I said, it took time for us to get the way we are today. It's going to take a little bit of time to undo all those beliefs that we've had about ourselves. It's very doable. It's very possible. It's not impossible. You just have to make it a habit. Just make it a habit to do one complaint every day. And whenever you get triggered, see if you can find what you were just believing about yourself when that moment happened. If somebody makes you angry, or you believe they made you angry, see what you were just believing about yourself. It's usually some form of I'm not enough. They don't think my idea is good enough.
Yeah.
They don't think I'm good enough, smart enough, tall enough, whatever it is. Find it and then do a worksheet on that.
Mm.
Okay, are we
Yes.
good for tonight?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much.
You're
Yeah,
absolutely
thank
welcome.
you.
It's my pleasure to be able
I'm
to
very, very grateful to you. Thank you so much.
All right. This will be posted on my YouTube channel, and I'll put the link out there if you need to go back and listen to any of it. Okay.
Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Bharti. I attended first time and I stayed and I was doing two things simultaneously, doing my yoga and listening to your last final, the conversation and summary that you're giving to another participant. Please add me to the group, WhatsApp group or the Google Drive, and I would like to look up at the sheets. I understand that it's expectations that always brings disappointments. I give up on, I have lowered my expectations from 100 to 90, 80, 70. I'm reducing it as I go along.
Good.
But there's subtle expectations, especially with your own children and your husband, where I let go and don't have expectations 8 times out of 10 times, but the 2 times I have, and I really feel hurt, and that's where I'm struggling.
That's where you do the worksheet. Remember this. When we have an expectation of someone else, we're really trying to control that person. That's all an expectation is. We are trying to control the other person and make them behave the way we think they should be behaving or performing. Now, how arrogant of me to do that to somebody else. Would I like it if they were trying to control me? Heck no. I'd be annoyed. Right? Would you? Can you see that having that expectation is our way of trying to control another person's life so that they modify their behavior to my standards? That is arrogance. We don't like it done to us. They are meant to enjoy their life and live their life in the way that feels right for them. Just the same way I have a right to live my life the way that feels right for me. I had enough of being told how to live my life and what expectations from my parents. I'm an adult now. I don't have to put up with that anymore. You don't have to put up with that anymore. So remember, I understand we feel as parents we have a right to control our children. There comes and maybe when they're very young, certainly keep them out of danger. That form of control, we call it being parents, but it is a form of control. But when they get a little bit older, when they start entering the teens, when they're really showing they have a mind of their own thoughts, their own perspective on life, sometimes we find it difficult to let go and simply let them be and be an observer of their life. Remember what it was like when we were their age and when our parents were nagging at us to do something and we felt like we never could measure up to our parents' standards. So that could potentially leave us feeling empty, feeling lonely, becoming survivors, just trying to please them, just trying to keep the peace, trying to be invisible sometimes so that we didn't get seen and punished for something that we were innocent. Let's not repeat that with our own children. They're responsible for the beliefs they take on. Our behavior towards them, the things that we do, causes them to take on certain beliefs about themselves. So we have to see our part in it too. We have to be mindful of the words that we choose. That's why I was emphasizing, if you're going to have a conversation with your partner about how you're feeling, let's not say it in a blameful way. That will simply make them defensive. Simply explain, when you do this, I feel this way, rather than you make me feel that way. The same with our kids. Hey, I've noticed when you do that, I feel this way inside. Or when you do that, I notice I want to react this way. And have a discussion, have a conversation with them about it and see what they say and be open to hearing and taking in what they're saying. Attempt to see it from their perspective rather than just ours. And also be cognizant of how many times you're actually in their business instead of just being in your own business. And we justify it as parents by thinking we still have control over our children's lives. That's just an invitation, something to consider. The same with our spouse. I notice some things I do and say to my husband, and then I immediately realize I'm trying to make him do things my way. And he'll jokingly say to me, why can't I be just like you are? And then I notice, whoops, I did it again. So, but he's so kind in the way he says it. You know, he knows the work that I do. And that's just a kind way of reminding me I'm in his business, right? Why can't I be just like you? Sometimes I say, I don't know, why can't you? You know, a human being too. But just noticing what we do will help us course correct oftentimes. Will help us see it immediately from another perspective. Okay, ladies, we really are over time, so I am going to end tonight's session. Thank you for listening. Thank you for participating.
And please share the Google Drive to access those forms and see if I could do the complaint form like what I suggested to the other participant.
Okay. You can always reach out to me if you get stuck or if you have questions when you're doing the forms by yourself. There is a little booklet in there that says instructions, and I invite you to just read through that. And again, I'm always available to help. Please feel free to reach out anytime.
Thank you.
Okay, lovely ladies. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Bye now.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.